Your chest is a little tight. Your shoulders are higher than they should be. Your breath is shallow, and you did not notice until just now. You might be sitting at a desk, or scrolling on your phone, or watching this video, and your body is still braced for something. You have probably been told to breathe deeper, or meditate more, or download the right app. Today I want to show you a 30-second vagus nerve reset that actually works. Because it hijacks a reflex your brain cannot argue with. Let's start with what your body is doing right now. Almost every vagus nerve video hands you a routine. A 5-minute breathing sequence, 10 minutes of humming, a 3-part shoulder stretch, and on paper, all of that is fine. Some of it even works. Slowly. The problem is not the technique. The problem is timing. When your nervous system is already switched on, when your chest is tight and your thoughts are running, the thinking part of your brain is already outvoted. You are not going to negotiate your way out of it with a breath. Some part of you knows this, which is why the routine sits in a saved playlist you never open. What most of these videos leave out is that your body has a shortcut, a hardwired one, a switch that skips the debate entirely, and it is triggered by one specific part of your body that almost nobody tells you is connected to the vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It runs from your brainstem, down through your neck, past your heart, and into your gut. It is the main line of your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch that tells your body it is safe. Slower heart rate, slower breath, digestion switching back on, shoulders coming down without you noticing. Most of the exercises you have heard about, humming, gargling, singing, slow exhales, nudge the vagus nerve gently. They send a small signal that says, maybe we are okay. And the vagus nerve, if it has time and space, will start to listen. But your body also has an emergency version of this. Think of it like a circuit breaker. When too much current is flowing through a house, the breaker does not ask the wiring for permission. It flips. Instantly, everything downstream just changes. You have one of these in your face. The specific part is the skin around your forehead, your upper cheeks, and the area around your eyes. That patch of your face is wired up by the trigeminal nerve, the 5th cranial nerve, and the trigeminal nerve has a direct connection into the brainstem, right where the vagus nerve starts. When the right kind of signal hits that patch of skin, the brainstem does not check in with your thinking brain. It does not consult your feelings. It sends a message straight down the vagus nerve to your heart, and things start to change in seconds. The reflex has a name. It is called the mammalian dive reflex, and every air-breathing mammal has it. It evolved to protect the brain and heart when a mammal ended up underwater, slowing the heart, pulling blood in toward the core, buying time. It is one of the fastest autonomic reactions the human body can produce. The trigger is not water. The trigger is cold on exactly those spots: the forehead, the upper cheeks, and around the eyes. Cold receptors in the trigeminal nerve fire a signal into an area of the brainstem called the nucleus of the solitary tract. From there, the signal jumps to the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus, and the vagus nerve fires a message down to the pacemaker of your heart. Within seconds, your heart rate drops, sometimes by 10%, sometimes by as much as 25%, depending on how cold the water is and how much of that area is covered. Your peripheral blood vessels tighten. Blood shifts toward the core. Your body has quietly flipped from sympathetic dominant, the mobilized on state, to parasympathetic dominant, the calmer state. 2022 paper in Scientific Reports used a version of this technique called the cold face test on healthy adults right after they were put through a laboratory stress task. Heart rate variability went up. Perceived stress went down. The effect was fast enough to matter in real minutes, not weeks. This same reflex is one of the tools that dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, uses in its distress tolerance training. It is the T in a skill called TIPP, taught to people trying to survive panic attacks and emotional crises when nothing verbal is landing. Clinicians reach for it in those moments precisely because it does not require the the person in crisis to think their way calm. The body just responds. This is education, not medical advice. If something in your life has been feeling seriously wrong or has been going on for a while and you cannot shake it, please talk to a doctor, therapist. What we are talking about here is one tool among many, and it works best inside a life that has other support in it. Here is the part nobody quite tells you. Your nervous system was not built for a life this loud. Your ancestors' vagus nerve had long, quiet stretches, walking, sitting near a fire, being close to other bodies, where it could gently walk the system down. Modern life gives it almost none of that. Notifications, deadlines, open loops in your brain from 3 different conversations, your phone glowing at 11 at night, traffic, uncertainty about the future you cannot resolve. Your sympathetic nervous system stays on, and the gentle version of your vagus nerve, the humming, the slow exhale, the walk after dinner, is trying to trip a breaker that keeps getting reset. It works. It just cannot always keep up. The circuit breaker was never meant to be an everyday tool, but when your everyday has started to look like an emergency, it makes sense that the emergency switch is the one that actually lands. So here is the reset. It takes about 30 seconds. Fill a bowl with cold water from the tap. Cold, not painful. You want it clearly cool. And if you have some ice, you can add a few cubes to keep it there. Lean forward over the bowl. Hold your breath. Put your face into the water so that your forehead, your eye area, and your upper cheeks are all covered. Stay there for around 30 seconds, or until you feel your body sigh. That is it. If a bowl is not available, you are at work, you are in the middle of the night, you do not want to make a mess. A cold, wet washcloth pressed over your forehead and upper cheeks does most of the same job. So does splashing cold water on that same area over and over for about half a minute. So does a cold pack wrapped in a thin cloth. What you do not want is bare ice pressed directly on bare skin, which can burn. The reason this works, and other things sometimes do not, is what we already covered. The trigeminal nerve is a hardwired line into the vagus. Cold on those specific spots is one of the most direct physical inputs the parasympathetic system has. It is a reflex, and the reflex overrides your stress response, whether the stress response feels like agreeing or not. One important caution before you try it. Because this reflex genuinely slows your heart, if you already have a slow resting heart rate, a diagnosed heart condition, or you are on medication that affects your heart rhythm, ask your doctor before you make this a regular tool. For most people, cold water on the face is a smaller ask on the body than a cup of coffee. But most is not everyone, and it is worth checking when you might reach for this right before a difficult conversation, when you wake up in the middle of the night and cannot fall back asleep, when your chest has been tight for no clear reason, when you are about to do something you have been avoiding and your body is bracing. There is one thing I want you to hear before you go. Your nervous system is not broken. It is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what a nervous system is supposed to do, noticing that a lot is happening and switching on to meet it. The problem is not you. The problem is that a system built for a slower kind of life is running inside a very fast one, and nobody sat you down and told you where the physical doors were. This is one of those doors. If you try it even once, tell me in the comments what you noticed in the first 30 seconds. The drop in your shoulders, the shift in your breath, a sigh you did not plan, or nothing at all, which is also useful information. If this video helped, a like helps YouTube show it to someone else who has been quietly searching for a real explanation. Next time, I am going to walk through what actually happens in your body when you wake up at 3 in the morning, and why the standard advice makes it worse. Subscribe so it lands in your feed. Thanks for watching.